What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Depeche Mode. And it is not often I say this, but I am pretty sure I've never heard this song before. Once again, big thank you to Yvonne, who provided the It's No Good single release. And yes, It's No Good, a tune from Ultra, one of my favorite Depeche Mode tracks post-80s, and I think the crown jewel of the excellent Ultra album. But yes, apparently this is a B-side called Slowblow, one word, and that does not ring a bell, so again, I'm convinced I've never heard this before, so I'm very excited to listen. But yeah, thinking about the title, again, it's one word, which is a bit awkward phrasing. I don't think I've ever seen the word slowblow as a single word before, so yeah, to take it at face value, it sounds like a blow, a striking blow that takes place slowly. So conceptually extrapolating from that, it sounds like maybe an emotional impact that plays out over a long duration. But yes, I don't quite know what to make of it, so let's listen and I'll see what I can catch. This is Depeche Mode, the tune is Slow Blow, and as I said, I think this is a B-side from the It's No Good single, which I assume is 1997, the same year as Ultra. Wow. So much to say, despite there being no vocals or lyrics. It's still ending. So, first of all, if I didn't know better, if I didn't know the chronology of Alan Wilder's presence in the band, I'd say, like, oh, this must have been composed by him, because it really sounds like it could be a Recoil tune. Side note, Chris, if you're watching, I really do need to get back to Recoil, so thank you again for sharing some of Alan's work, which was not included on the 2-disc, what was it, Selected? I have it up on my wall somewhere. Yes, Selected release. In any case, the point is, I would totally think that was an Alan Wilder tune, but this is 1997, he's already left the group, so I guess my conclusion is Martin was listening for a lot of the compositions that Alan had done, because, yeah, it has that down-tempo, like, post-apocalyptic industrial sound. It sounds like the memory of an industrial society that is no more, though that kind of twangy, I think it's like a guitar, but maybe with an effect on it, that suggests that maybe not everybody is dead. There is some sort of vibrancy remaining, but a lot of the sonics sound like machines that are still functioning with no operators, and again, sort of electro-industrial society which has been hollowed out of humanity. There's no people left, except for, save a few, scattered survivors that, have a little bit of vibrancy. But yeah, I love the tune. It's the kind of track that I could use in one of my ambient excursion mixes, which have a lot of down tempo and sybient. And to be fair, it's a bit more stripped down, minimal, and industrial than a number of tunes I use in those mixes. But in terms of the percussion and the rhythm and the atmosphere of it, it very much could go in one. So maybe that will happen at some point in the future. But yeah, a really interesting track. Slowblow now as a title, again, it's an instrumental, so I'm less inclined to interpret it with any particular meaning, but maybe the idea that it is kind of a heavy, but also plodding and languid type of track rhythmically. It really does sound like it could fit in the background of a post-apocalyptic sci-fi type of movie, and a scene of discovery, or where there's a bit of traveling and coming into an area you haven't seen before. It feels like it could work very well with that. So a top tune, and one that in one way I think is reflective of a lot of Depeche Mode stylings, which again, that, like, especially once you get past the more poppy stuff, or even some of the darker synth stuff of the 80s, is more experimental, and from the era of Ultra, like very industrial and so on. And in that regard, I guess this makes sense temporally. It sounds like Depeche Mode in the late 90s. But yes, I feel like it is in another way surprising, because again, with Alan Wilder being gone, it makes me wonder if, again, some of his stylings rubbed off on Martin's production. In any case, let me know what you think. Thank you again to Yvonne for sharing this single, and I will see you next time. Peace.